Good morning to all and welcome to the session, the Hindu Editorial Analysis for Proficiency in English. Today's editorial is about elections are fast approaching. Based against that backdrop, it is about a new system which is going to be introduced as an adjunct system for electronic voting machines. There are some important words and this editorial is important. This editorial discusses the ongoing debate. When you come across the word debate, that means what? Some people support, some people oppose. This editorial discusses the ongoing debate surrounding the use of electronic voting machines, EVMs, in elections, particularly focusing on the introduction of voter verifiable paper audit trail, VPAT systems. Good morning. As I said, this is about electronic voting machines. That is one thing. But the focus is more on a new system that is going to be introduced, and the new system is voter verifiable paper audit trail, VPAT systems. I use only English. Whether it is good or bad, what is the criticism leveled against this, whether it can be justified, cannot be justified, and the editor takes a particular stand. But here, I said, there is one important word. You have to recollect two words. One, trial. Trial goes with court. What is the word here? Trail. Trail means, imagine you lost your way. You want someone to find out in which direction you are going, and you leave behind, wherever you go, you leave behind something so that they can identify. This is known as trail. Trail means a path. Trail means what? A path, a trajectory. And in this context, whether it goes with votes, it is all about two things at the outset. One is, it is about electronic voting machines, and it is about VPATs, voter verifiable paper audit trail systems. What is the tone of the editorial? The tone of the editorial is analytical and objective. Analysis, analytical. Good morning to all of you. And objective. There are two important words I usually give my students. The first one, subjective. The other one, objective. To make it easy, I'll use a typical combination, subject to opinion, object to opinion. You can substitute with analysis also. Subjective means personal opinion. Objective means based on facts. What are the two words that you have to learn? Subjective, objective. Subjective statement, subjective analysis. Objective statement, objective opinion. Objective analysis. Subjective means purely personal, not valid, not acceptable. On the other hand, objective analysis, objective opinion means based on facts and figures. And the tone of this editorial, one is analytical, the other one objective in nature. That means no personal stand. How does it start? Overkill. Overkill can be a verb, can be a noun. Much more of something than is needed, resulting in less effectiveness. You need something, but you want more than what is needed, more than what is required. That is known as overkill. Literal meaning, killing more number of animals or whatever than required. But here, asking for more, using more, then we say overkill. In this context, overkill goes with asking for 100% verification when it comes to electronic voting machines, whether they are efficient or not efficient. On only 100% recount of VPATs verification of a statistically significant sample of VPAT slips should suffice. Here actually this is one part. Overkill. What is this overkill about? Only a 100% recount of VPAT's verification of a statistically significant sample of VPAT slips should suffice. I feel some text is missing, I'm sorry about that, but basically here verification of a statistically significant sample of VPAT slips should suffice. There are two words over here. One is overkill, I have given the meaning, and the other one suffice, part of speech verb. What does it mean? Be enough or adequate. Be enough or adequate. Here I will provide the background information. Actually, you have to know something about the new system which is going to be introduced at the national level for the first time. Actually, this was introduced way back in 2013 in Nagaland. Later, they used it in some places. What is this new system? Imagine this is electronic voting machine. Electronic voting machine. Now a new thing, that is VPAT. This is like a screen, imagine. When you vote for a particular candidate, the first one is Nota, then you come here on the screen, you see whichever candidate you have chosen, same thing gets displayed here. Name of the candidate, the party symbol, the party. And this will be on screen for 7 seconds. After 7 seconds, it's like a paper printout. It falls in the box. And that box, only the returning officer has access. That box, only the returning officer can access. It talks about when it comes to people criticized electronic voting machines. Now they are criticizing the new system which has been introduced as an adjunct system. But there is a provision. What is the provision? 5 polling booths in each assembly at random if we have to cross check. But if you take the political parties, especially the main party, the Congress, the political parties are demanding 100% recount. In this context, that is an overkill. And the editorial takes a stand. What is the stand taken by the editorial? Verification of a statistically significant sample. Significant means what? Important. Statistically important sample of VPAT slips should suffice. Suffice means enough. We don't have to go for 100% recounting. At some places and important places, based on the provision, 5 polling booths, each assembly constituency, that is enough. For that, adequate enough, this particular word has been used. The introduction and use of the voter verifiable paper audit trail VPAT, an adjunct system attached to the electronic voting machine EVM, and the provision of counting VPAT tallies from 5 random polling booths. Provision, there is a provision of counting VPAT tallies numbers from 5 random polling booths in every assembly constituency to be matched with the electronic voting count, EVM vote count, have not assuaged critics of the use of EVMs in Indian elections. A lengthy sentence. What does it mean? I would like to reiterate. You have to know the backdrop, then it becomes easy to understand. We have elections are fast approaching, and in every sphere we have been using technology. Same thing goes with elections also. When it comes to elections, what is the technology? Electronic voting machines. And these machines have been criticized from day one because there is a possibility of manipulation, hacking, not reliable, all these other accusations or allegations. Adding something like fuel to the fire, now they are going to introduce a new system as an adjunct system. Adjunct means supporting the main thing. And now a few parties have started criticizing the new system. Already I have explained electronic voting machine and this VPATs. And when you vote here, then on the screen you can see whichever candidate you have chosen. You can see on the screen for 7 seconds. After that, the paper slip falls in the box, and when they want to cross check, they can check the votes in the electronic voting machine and the paper slips. If they tally, absolutely no problem. uh, though this is in a way depending on technology and cross checking, making sure everything is perfect. In spite of this, the critics of electronic voting machines, they haven't been assuaged. There's one important word. First, let me give the meaning of the word adjunct. Adjunct, part of speech, adjective. What does it mean? A thing added to something else as a supplementary rather than an essential part. Something is there in this context, electronic voting machine. To that, something has been added, VPAT. Added as what? As a supplementary thing rather than an essential part. It's a supplementary thing for cross-checking, for confirmation. What is the other word here? Assuage. This is an important word. Assuage means make an unpleasant feeling less intense. In bank exams, many a time they have given words like, I will give a synonyms also, assuage, alleviate, mitigate. All these three words are very important. They are synonyms. Reduce a pain. In this context, reduce the level of criticism or reduce the unhappiness, whatever, of the critics. In spite of this system, these things have not assuaged critics, means their negative attitude or the apprehension towards this particular system, towards electronic voting machines, hasn't gone down. Have not assuaged means haven't gone down of the use of electronic voting machines in Indian elections. The next two sentences talk about the criticism. What exactly the criticism against electronic voting machines and VPATs? First one, some suggest. Here some means some critics. Some critics suggest the fact that the process could be more transparent if a machine audit trail of all the commands that are executed is maintained in the system, beyond just the votes recorded in the EVMs, ballot unit, and the printed slips in the VPATs, allowing for an audit to rule out any malicious code. What exactly does it mean? Right now what is happening, electronic voting machine, it is being recorded. If I choose a particular candidate, it is recorded. The same thing is recorded in VPATs. But the critics say, instead of these two, along with these two, whatever command is executed on the electronic voting machine, that should be recorded and maintained in the system. If that is done, then you can easily verify, or you can cross check, and any problem you can identify. It talks about that. It results in transparency. Some suggest the fact that the process could be more transparent if a machine audit trail, it is not the voting trail, machine audit trail of all the commands that are executed is maintained in the system, beyond the votes recorded in the EVMs ballot unit and the printed slips in the VPATs. Then what happens if every command is recorded, allowing for an audit to rule out any malicious code? There are two important words here. What is the first one? First one is rule out. Rule out, generally it goes with the workplace. The meeting between the management and the union is ruled out. Means impossible. It is not going to happen. This is a phrasal verb. To decide or say officially something is impossible or will not happen. It is not going to happen, imagine, then it is ruled out. Something is ruled out means it is not going to happen. Malicious, part of speech, adjective. Having or showing a desire to cause harm to someone. In this context, the machine, malicious, dealing with the machine in a malicious way with the intention of harming or disturbing the system. And one more word is here, we have got many a time, robust. Robust, part of speech, adjective. Having or showing vigor, strength, or firmness. The sentence says, don't stop with the recording of the votes in electronic voting machine and the VPATs, but make sure all the commands are recorded and maintained in the system, so that when they go in for audit, they can easily check, rule out any malicious code. This could indeed make the system more robust. If they do it, then it will make the system very strong. This could indeed make the system more robust and be considered as an upgrade to the existing machines. Already we have the machines, and machines have to be upgraded. What is upgradation over here? Not simply recording the vote, whoever casts the vote in the electronic voting machine, in the VPATs, but it has to record every command executed in the electronic voting machine. That will be an upgrade, the editorial says. Others suggest the second criticism. Others suggest that the use of VPATs has introduced potential vulnerabilities that did not exist with the standalone nature of EVMs and the technical and administrative safeguards that undergirded the legacy system. There are two dimensions over here. Earlier, the adjunct system was not there. What is the adjunct system, supporting system? VPATs. And the sentence says when VPATs were not there, EVMs were standalone things. There were no problems. But with the introduction of VPATs, potential vulnerabilities have come into existence. There is one word here, there are two words. One is vulnerability. It comes from vulnerabilities, noun, vulnerable, adjective. Exposed to the possibility of being attacked or harmed either physically or emotionally. Usually it goes with people, persons, individuals, vulnerable situation, vulnerable position, vulnerable group. But in this context, what is vulnerable? The system, the machine. The second word, undergirded, part of speech verb, to support something by forming a strong base for it. You want to support something by giving a strong base, then we use the word undergirded. So what it says, these EVMs, when they were standalone nature, when they had the standalone nature, means no support, no issues. But with the introduction of these VPATs, introduced the potential vulnerabilities. Potential means the possible vulnerabilities. And the technical and administrative safeguards that undergirded the legacy system. It did not disturb. That time there were safeguards. When EVMs were, they had this standalone nature. There were safeguards, technical and administrative safeguards. Now there is a potential for vulnerabilities. This too could be addressed. This problem too could be addressed. Here addressed means what? Can be dealt with. This too could be addressed by reworking the safeguards to ensure that the VPAT combined systems are as secure and foolproof as the standalone EVMs. There are two things over here. We are talking about standalone EVMs. We are talking about EVMs with the adjunct system, VPATs. And how to address this particular problem, potential vulnerabilities, we have to rework on the safeguards, technical and administrative safeguards. We have to rework on them. Then what happens? The new system, it's a combination of EVMs and VPATs. It will be as secure as standalone EVMs. Nothing wrong then. But incomprehensible is the critique from many, including political parties such as the Congress, that only 100% recount of all VPATs would suffice instead of the current method of sampling the number of recounts in order to have full transparency. Incomprehensible, one important word. Comprehensible means able to be understood or intelligible. If I say something you understand, then you can say whatever master says is comprehensible. You don't understand what I say, then what will you say? Whatever master says is not comprehensible, or whatever the master says is incomprehensible, cannot understand. Another word, critique, part of speech noun, an article or essay criticizing a literary or other work. Here criticizing the new system, adjunct system, that is VPATs. It talks about something is not understandable. We cannot understand something in this context. Editorial says, what is that we cannot understand? It is the stand taken by many and the stand taken by the parties, especially the stand taken by the opposition party, the Congress party. But incomprehensible is a critique from many, including political parties such as the Congress, that only 100% recount of all VPATs would suffice. These parties, especially the Congress and other parties, what are they saying? There is a provision. Based on the provision, we have to cross-check 5 polling booths in each assembly constituency at random. 3 dimensions are there. But these parties are insisting on 100% recount. That is not, that is something we are not able to understand. That's what the editorial says. Instead of the current method of sampling the number of recounts in order to have full transparency. Excuse me. Congress says to have full, other parties also, to have full transparency, we have to go in for 100% recount. And what is the provision we have? Some areas, 5 polling booths, each constituency at random. That is not enough, they say. What is enough or adequate? 100% recount. The Supreme Court of India has now listed a series of petitions related to this demand. It has gone to the court, and what is the demand here? 100% recount. This is the first part of the editorial. Second part of the editorial talks about generally the machine's possible potential problems, all these aspects. Despite Cassandra-like pronouncements about malpractices and EVM hacking, there has been no proof of any actual tampering of EVMs so far. First, I will talk about grammar part. So far means from the past to the present until now. Whenever you come across the phrase so far, remember you have to use present perfect tense. Based on that, there has been no proof. There has been, this is present perfect active voice. What does it say? First, I would like to give the meanings of the words. One, Cassandra, pronouncements, malpractices, tampering. Here, Cassandra, it is part of Greek mythology, but in this context, it means part of speech adjective, one that predicts misfortune or disaster. Certain things people feel, certain things bring misfortune with them. Then we use the word Cassandra like, means something that is bad, something that brings misfortune or disaster. Malpractice, improper, illegal, or negligent professional behavior. More than negligent, improper, illegal. Malpractice also, it is a noun, and if you take exams, at the time of the exam, some people copy, mass copying. Then we use the term malpractices. Temper is different, tamper is different. Tamper, part of speech verb. Interfere with something in order to cause damage or make unauthorized alterations. You take a machine and you try to alter or you try to do something, that is nothing but tampering with the machine. Look, and one more word here, pronouncement. Pronouncement means to state something publicly, officially. Then we use the word pronouncement. And one more word is here, I think these are the words. Despite Cassandra-like pronouncements means what? Statements saying that this is going to bring something bad, it is going to cause a disaster. Despite, again you have to be alert. You have to recollect despite, in spite of. Already we have discussed many a time. Despite Cassandra-like pronouncements about malpractices and EVM hacking, there has been no proof of any actual tampering of EVMs so far. Critics have been saying a lot of criticism against EVMs, but till date, so far, there has been no proof whatsoever. That's the reason why it starts with despite. While EVMs, as any machine is bound to, have suffered glitches. Now the editor talks about usually when we deal with machines, what happens? We do come across problems. Sometimes they say we got delayed because of a technical glitch. There's one word here, glitch. Glitch means what? A temporary problem that goes with a machine. Very minor problem. Any machine will definitely undergo glitches or problems which are for a short period and immediately rectified. And EVMs are no exception. While EVMs, as any machine, is bound to have suffered glitches and promptly been replaced in the event of machine failures. There are two problems. EVM, very good, in spite of. EVM technical glitch means what? A temporary problem and related to a machine, they rectify within no time. Sometimes what happens, the entire machine fails, they will replace. This has happened, not a big deal. It goes with any machine for that matter. While EVMs, as any machine, is bound to have suffered glitches and promptly been replaced in the event of machine failures, the criticizing the statement, criticizing these, that they are prone to hacking or manipulation, prone to, likely to get affected, prone to two things: one, hacking; another, manipulation, despite, again the word despite, the existing technical and administrative safeguards hasn't been made with any actual proof, hasn't been made. It is present perfect passive voice. We haven't made something, something hasn't been made. Present perfect passive voice. Again, the same thing is being reiterated. Critics have been talking about hacking or dealing, tampering, all these. But till date, in spite of the technical and administrative safeguards, but till date, they could not prove it, hasn't been made with any actual proof. There are only allegations or accusations, no proof as such. The sample counting of VPATs across both the general election in 2019 and several other assembly elections, for instance, which allow the voter to confirm whether the mandate matches the choice made on the EVM, have shown that. This is what I initially explained. You have the EVM here, you have the VPAT here. And what is the purpose? These are connected. When I vote for a particular candidate, then I come and stand in front of the VPAT. On the screen, I see the name of the same candidate, the party symbol, and the name of the party. Then I know for sure whatever I have chosen, same thing is being displayed, and after 7 seconds the paper falls in the box and only the returning officer has access to that particular thing. There is a system cross-checking. It says this was tried way back in 2019. The sample counting of VPATs across both the general election in 2019 and several other assembly elections, for instance, which allow the voter to confirm. The system allows you to confirm whoever you have chosen, and you see on the screen it is confirmed, nothing went wrong. But in spite of that, made on the EVM have shown that the mismatch between the VPAT recount and the EVM count has been minuscule, means very minute, an outcome of trivial errors. These minor problems, minuscule means what? There are two words. First, I will give the meanings. Minuscule, adjective, extremely small, tiny, trivial, of little value or importance. We had problems, but very minor problems. When they went for recount, they has been minuscule. The mismatch between the electronic voting machine and the VPAT, the mismatch, minute, very minute. Why did it happen? An outcome of trivial errors, means not that important. Trivial means not at all important, such as non-deletion of mock polls in the machine before the voting process. One thing, before voting process, they go for mock polls, and they forget to remove, delete. That is one possible error. Second one, errors in manual recording of the final count from the machine. Final count, they make a note manually. There also errors are possible. An increase in the recount sample to make it more statistically significant by making The selected number of assemblies specific to each state, union, territory, based on the size of the province, or simply to increase the recount sample in seats where the margin of victory is narrow, say less than 1% of the overall votes, could be solutions. What could be the possible solutions for these problems? One, increase the number. 5, increase the number. Second, sometimes what happens, one candidate wins, the other candidate loses, and the difference is very narrow, less than 1%. In that case also we can go for recounting. These are the solutions. But to insist on a full recount, but contrasting word, opposition, many parties, they are insisting on full recount, means 100% recount. But to insist on a full recount seems an overkill. Main ideas being reiterated. 100% asking for 100% is nothing but overkill, and a clear lack of trust in the electronic voting machine itself. It shows it is overkill on the one hand. At the same time, it shows these parties, they don't trust the electronic voting machine. It ends on that particular note. From today, we are going to have mini mocks, practice questions, mini mocks, because I bring about 15 plus questions. And after the session, we will provide the PDF in our Telegram group. Those who want the PDF, please join the Telegram group. And when you go, if you're already there, access the PDF, work on the practice questions, and that will, every day you work on practice questions or mini mocks. You do it for a few months. Definitely your standards will go up. That will help in the long run. I repeat, join the Telegram group. If you're already there, after the session, I will provide the PDF and try to access the PDF. Thank you very much. We'll see the questions. Today, new patterns, new questions, but before that, it is going to be quite useful today, the mini mocks part or practice questions part. First, as usual, work on questions to test your comprehension skill. What is the main focus of the editorial regarding Indian elections? Always focus on the key words. Main focus of the editorial regarding Indian elections. Criticizing the use of electronic voting machines. Why will the editorial criticize? Advocating for a 100% recount of all VPATs. This was a demand from many political parties, including the main party, the Congress. Discussing the introduction of voter verifiable paper audit trail VPAT systems. Hold this one. Analyzing the impact of social media, not relevant here. Very good, I appreciate those who have chosen C is the answer. It's all about introduction of VPATs as an adjunct system to electronic voting machines. According to the editorial, what is a primary concern? Primary concern raised by critics regarding VPATs. They introduced potential vulnerabilities that did not exist with standalone EVMs. You can hold this one. They are prone to hacking or manipulation despite existing safeguards. Both have been mentioned in the editorial. They are expensive to implement, not mentioned in the editorial. They are not user friendly, not mentioned in the editorial. It has to be either A or B. You have to be very careful to answer this one. First one talks about potential vulnerabilities, possible vulnerabilities. But second one talks about prone to hacking or manipulation. This is quite possible. Vulnerabilities not that serious, because it talks about a possible position likely to get exploited. But your hacking, manipulation, once a particular electronic voting machine is hacked, obviously the whole result goes off their track. Based on that, B is the answer. They are prone to hacking or manipulation despite existing safeguards. What does the author suggest as a potential solution? Possible solution to address concerns about the electoral process. What is a possible solution? Implementing a 100% recount of all VPATs, editorial does not suggest that as a solution. Increasing the number of polling booths in every assembly constituency, editorial does not suggest, though it mentions, but that is not the main thing, hold that one. Maintaining a machine audit trail of all commands executed in the system, no. Removing the VPAT system altogether. Based on these options, increasing the number of polling booths in every assembly constituency. The editorial suggested two things as solutions. One is this, increasing the number of polling booths in every assembly constituency, and the other one, wherever the margin is less than 1%, they have to focus on that particular constituency. Among the options, B is the answer, not C. No. Maintaining a machine audit trail of all commands executed in the system. Even this has been mentioned, but this was suggested by the critics, not the editorial. Do remember, there is a difference between critics suggesting and editorial suggesting. Go to question number 4. What does the editorial argue against an extreme measure? What does the editorial argue against as an extreme measure? Increasing the sample size for VPAT recounts, implementing stricter administrative safeguards for EVMs, conducting regular mock polls before the voting process, insisting on a full recount of all VPATs. What it means, what is that editorial opposed or criticized severely? The whole editorial is based on that. What is that? D is the answer. Very good. Who is that? Teja. Not C, D. Divya also got it right. Shavani also. Insisting on a full recount, the editor opines it is overkill. Only specific places based on the provision would suffice. It is against this particular thing. What is it? Insisting on a full recount or 100% recount. Question number 5. What is the overall tone of the editorial? Already I have mentioned, it should be easy for you. What is the overall tone? Biased and opinionated, analytical and objective, sarcastic and critical, emotional and provocative. I have already mentioned analytical and objective. Based on that, I give two words, subjective, objective. Subjective, personal. Objective, based on facts and figures. It is analytical at the same time. Objective analysis. B is the answer. We have new patterns. Listen, read the instructions carefully. Based on error location, but a different format, different model. Choose a sentence in which an error in subject-verb agreement is present. This question is about subject-verb agreement. There are 4 sentences. In one sentence, there is an error. You have to identify that particular sentence. The team of players is practicing hard for the match. Every student in the class were required to submit their assignments. The book along with the pen belongs to Sarah. The committee meets once a month to discuss various issues. Which sentence is not correct? Based on subject-verb agreement. These are a bit challenging. The team, here the team is the subject. It is a collective noun and there is no division as such. The sentence does not denote division. Of players is a phrase, put it in brackets. Collective nouns usually take a singular verb. Based on that, the team is nothing wrong. Every student, when we use every student, student singular. The other day we got every aspects, not every aspect. The same way every student. Every student in the class were required or was required to submit their assignments or his or her assignments. There are 2 errors here. Every student in the class was required, every student singular, to submit his or her assignments. The book, along with, whenever we use expressions like with, along with, together with, as well as like, unlike, besides, in addition to, including, all these, the verb agrees with the first subject. What is the first subject over here? The book belongs to Sarah. No error. This is also right. The committee, collective noun and no division, meets once a month to discuss various issues. What is the answer? B. We have two errors. Answer is B. Go to the next question. Read the instructions. Locate the sentence. Please excuse me, I have a bad throat. Locate the sentence with a mistake in tense. Here again you have sentences, but you have to locate a sentence that has an error based on tenses. Tense. She has gone to the market yesterday. By this time next year, I will have finished my degree. He has been working on the project since morning. They had left for the airport before I went there. All these are quite challenging, under pressure not easy. Divya is the first one to answer question number 2. She says A. After that, Dharani, Shravani, very good. What is wrong with this sentence? I always tell my students, when you read a sentence looking for an error, you have to read intentionally, deliberately, looking for the time phrase. What is the time phrase here? Yesterday. Yesterday goes with past tense. And this is a common error. A lot of people make this mistake. What is the mistake? They use present perfect with independent time in past. That is a wrong combination. And here you cannot touch yesterday. Based on yesterday, you have to decide the tense. Yesterday goes with past tense. But here it is in present perfect, which is not correct. She went. And the verb should be in the past form. She went to the market yesterday. And this is an important expression. The preposition by. By a given time in future, some action will be over, some action will be completed. For that action, we use future perfect tense. By this time next year, I will have finished. Future perfect tense. Nothing wrong. He has been working on the project since morning. Whenever you see the preposition since and for, you have to think of two tenses, present perfect continuous. Here it is in has been working. Present perfect continuous, nothing wrong. And here we have two actions. First action, second action. First action should be in past perfect, second action in past tense. They had left for the airport, past perfect. Before I went there, past tense. Nothing wrong with this also. What is the answer? Here, which sentence has the error? A has the error. Go to the next one. Select the sentence with an error in article usage. Article usage. She is an university student. I need advice on how to proceed. The car was parked in front of a house. We went to a beach for vacation. Where is the error? A lot of students have chosen A. Here, university. It begins with a vowel letter, but it has a consonantal sound. U, ya is a consonantal sound. Based on that, we should not say an university. We have to say a university. Very good, I appreciate that. A university, wonderful. Excellent. Now we have questions based on antonyms. What is the antonym of ubiquitous? First you have to know the word meaning of the word, then you have to choose the opposite antonym. Ubiquitous means what? First you respond, then I will give the meaning. Opposite word, antonym. Please mention the question number. 1A. Ubiquitous means excess, present everywhere. Based on that common, same meaning. Pervasive, everywhere, same meaning. Abundant, same meaning. They want the opposite. What is the answer? Scarce. No, pervasive also means the same. Abundant, pervasive, common, they all mean the same. Ubiquitous, present everywhere. What is the opposite? Scarce, scarcity. A is the answer. What is the antonym of ephemeral? Yes, you have to choose opposite of ephemeral. Transient, temporary, fleeting, permanent. Ephemeral means what? Temporary. All these words, transient, synonym, temporary, meaning, fleeting, synonym. What is opposite? Temporary opposite, permanent. Answer is C. Very good. Let us go to the third one. What is the antonym of obfuscate? An important word. They have given many a time in different competitive exams. Clarify, confuse, blur, obscure. First you have to know the meaning, then it becomes easy to answer. Obfuscate means to make something obscure, to make something vague. Based on that, you have to choose the opposite. Clarify, hold this one. Confuse, same meaning. Blur, same meaning. Obscure, same meaning. What is the answer? Clarify is the answer. A is the answer. Very good, I appreciate. So many students have got it right. I have brought 3 idioms based on the concept of weather. To be under the weather means what? All the 3 idioms based on weather. First one, today I'm under the weather means what? It's a fact also. To be outside during a storm, to feel ill or not in good health, to enjoy sunny weather, to feel energetic and happy. To be under the weather, today I am under the weather means what? 1B. What is B here? Perfect. To be under the weather means to feel a little unhealthy, to feel ill or not in good health. You don't feel comfortable, you feel a little ill, then you say, today I am under the weather. Not D, answer is B. B is the answer. Next one, to be on cloud 9. This has been given in many competitive exams many a time. To be on cloud 9 means what? To experience extreme weather conditions, to be in a state of happiness or euphoria, a lot of happiness, euphoria. To fly in an aeroplane, to be surrounded by clouds. Tomorrow you get the job, then you can use this. What will you say? I am on cloud 9. To be on cloud 9 means to be in a state of happiness, extreme happiness, euphoria, full of happiness. Once you get the job, obviously, that is the ultimate thing, you will be the happiest person. What is the next one? To chase rainbows. Chase rainbows means what? Usually we say conversational English, don't chase rainbows, not advisable. What does it mean? To hunt for leprechauns, to pursue unrealistic goals or dreams, to enjoy the beauty of a rainbow after rain, to avoid rainy weather. Chase rainbows. Please mention the question number. Only then I can respond right or wrong. I think almost all the students have got the second one right. Go to the third one. To chase rainbows means to pursue unrealistic goals or dreams. Answer is B. Again, many students have got it right. Very good. The last one for today, I have brought 4 idioms in fact. To be on thin ice. On thin ice. You are on thin ice. I am on thin ice means what? To skate gracefully on a frozen pond, to be in a risky or dangerous situation, to have a thin layer of ice in a drink, to enjoy winter sports. To be on thin ice means to be in a risky or dangerous situation. You are in a dangerous situation or a risky situation, then you can say, I am on thin ice. That's all for today. And before I wind up, I would like to tell you guys all these questions you can access. I'm going to provide the PDF. Join the Telegram group, and there you can get the access to the PDF of this particular thing. The editorial, the questions, comprehension based, and mini mocks, whatever questions, all these you can have access. And every day you get these questions based on exam topics. Obviously, 3-4 months you will be able to answer many questions effortlessly, and you will be ready for the exam. That's all for today. Have a nice day. Thank you very much.